Well, this is going to be a longer a longer video because it goes almost the full game. But I want to show you something right off. Look at this Podvoisky over here.
Acknowledged.
He's not full throttle. And
Nice work.
the Vasteris is to my right. But look at this Podvoisky. Is he waiting for me? Are the eyes of the fleet waiting for me? Is Chimp PA-45 waiting for me? At this stage of the game, does he not understand a destroyer's role is to be forward and spot? You don't have to die up front, but you have
All
to
stations,
spot.
protect that target.
Because if you don't, their destroyers will be aggressive and push in and spot you and be a danger to your battleships, keeping them spotted and treating them. Look at him. I rammed this guy intentionally. I wanted to use a more derogatory term. What does he think he's doing? How can somebody be that oblivious? Traveling at 3/4 throttle maybe, and then pulling right in front of me. Now I did direct him to where he's supposed to be, but look at the Vasteris. And it was the carrier that spotted those ships. I don't like to pull out until I know the DDs are in this area. And I'm not going to pull out prematurely and be spotted because our guys won't spot. If our guys were out there and maybe even dropping smoke, I would have run up this coastline. Now I know there's a battleship back there, but look what they're doing. I'm more forwardly placed than those two lame brain DDs. That irritates me. I've just played too many games, and I want to show you because there's time. That Podvoisky has 12,000 games. He's not a bad record. It's better than mine overall. But why is he playing like a stiff? The Vasteris is relatively new. He doesn't know better. That's crazy. Their DDs are, compared to ours, are inexperienced. In fact, this was not a very good team. But really, I'm just showing you how lack of aggression, lack of thought, can put your team in a really bad position. And God knows I've played a lot of... Look at these two DDs. They're still in full retreat. Now, you know, there's no zones to capture. In their defense, there's no zones to capture except the main zone. And that's going to become a big issue at the end of the game. And if you don't stick for this video, I don't blame you. It's a little dry. But I have to rescue the day at the end of this game because our DDs are inept. 4 DDs in this game. This is the most forwardly placed one and maybe our best DD, and he got himself in trouble. He's spotted, but he's remaining out of... Now he's coming into gun range from this guy here. I mean, I like aggressive play, but now he's in a real tough spot because this cruiser's got to have him lined up. And it was the DD he was fighting that got him. That Farragut should have been able to gun that Fubuki. The Fubuki's not a real sturdy ship. So finally our destroyers get in a position to do a little spotting, and I'm just trying to get guns on. I'm not forwardly placed. I see that battleship up there. Look at their Leander still sitting in position. Just trying to get guns on. They're finally doing their job, though. They got up a little further. They're further up than I am. So it's the cruiser that gets them. But that was good enough play. So at this point, I see an opportunity to surprise this DD. That's how I'm interpreting it. And I boogie immediately. I'm going to use this tight coast, come in behind these rocks, and try to surprise this DD and take their DD out. It's a dead tight game as of right now, and I've got very little confidence in our DDs. You know, even though they were much better than theirs, they're not playing like it. We lost one. These two over here were not sufficiently aggressive in their spotting role. I'm really concerned about the DDs. And you have to modify your game when you've got potatoes. The chimp guy, he's behind me right now. He's got too many games and too high a rate to be considered a full potato, but he is most definitely a partial potato. That guy really doesn't know what he's doing. So I see this Farragut here, and he's taking, I believe those were icy torps. We got an icy that's going to be high game score here. And coming in and being spotted, I make a mistake. I get a proximity right here, a proximity indicator to the shore, and I ignore it, and I get hung up here. I swear I'm hung up for 5 minutes. I don't know how I survived this, and that's on me. That's amateur play. That's playing like the two DBs behind me.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
I think that was a disconnect destroyer. He looked like he was doing nothing. Initially, he was on the far east flank for them, and then he came over there, and I think that was a disco. Why this Tedekhoff isn't lighting me up, or this New Mexico, I have no idea. They're not looking at their mini-map. They're fighting their individual battles and not being aware. So I just finally cleared, well, not quite. That's all on me. I potatoed on that. I'll admit to that. I'm calling out potatoes lately. That was potato on me, but I'm trying to make a difference. So there's the main hit I take. I'm surprised that didn't do me. That was at New Mexico. I believe they throw 14-inch. That should have done me. He doesn't look like he's coming. I don't know why I let those go, but I figured I'm not going to have another chance to torp for a while, so I let him go. So I see what I think is a Leander in the fog, and that's why I'm coming around. I'm going to hydro hip, and they get to him. The Icy's our team leader. Ford's going to have the best game. So at this point, I'm just trying to ground out rather than chase around the island and get back in the fight and get some rear guns. Most of the guns, obviously, in this ship are in the rear. So if I can find a hidey spot, and many times I can lob them from just around rocks at the enemy. So that's what I'm attempting to do. But that's a long reverse to reverse through that channel. And just so you know where this is going, that's exactly what's going to happen. But if you look down at our main zone now, you can see we don't have much around it. And I realized that right about here. We've got a destroyer in there. We just lost a battleship in the zone. There's two battleships to the north that should press for it, in my opinion, and don't. And at this point, I think we got a zone problem. And I'm trying to reverse and head to the zone as soon as possible. We do have a one-ship lead. Fortunately, the other team didn't have our win ratio. They weren't salty players, and it's a damn good thing. Now, what's going on is that's the Visteris that got way north. He's trying to torp that battle, that New Mexico there, but he's dealing with a carrier that's spotting him as well. I don't know what their New Mexico's doing. He should be focusing, well, he's dying, but he should be focusing that DD. That DD is his main threat, that Vesteris just to his northeast. I don't know what he's doing. So I'm still circling around. We got this destroyer right here shouting, "Mommy, Mommy." And, I don't know what his situation is. Is he spotted? No, he's not. Apollyon Rising. Now that's a player, but he's very inexperienced, and that's what you're getting in World of Warships these days. I'm going so fast I'm inverted. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're inverted, but not because you're going fast. So I see that New Mexico to my north. It's the most dangerous spot for me. If I get spotted making this run to try to save the base, I'm probably going to get dead. Now that's a plane spotting me, and I realize it, so I don't shoot. I don't shoot because I want to go dark after that plane leaves and maintain my concealment. This concealment detection is something most of the players don't have a clue about, and this is not a good concealment ship. So now because I can hit this and get cover, I let it go. So we're up one ship, but they're in our zone. This is what I was fearing. Look at Apollyon rising. He's going so fast he's inverted, and he's out of the zone. He's gone ahead and laid some torps out there, but he's no longer in the zone, and he doesn't have a clue that that big zone is a game-end capture zone. It's capture the flag. You capture that one zone, game over. He doesn't know that. So Yagano's closest, so he gets my attention. Not very good volleys. At first I overshoot, and then I failed to lead, and the only reason I pick him up is he took some damage.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
So Chimp PA-45, he's bound with torping. Now he's trying to get to the zone too. He's sensing the same danger, and he has no idea who's going to go there. Look at Apollyon rising. He's hiding behind a rock now. No clue we're about to lose the game. The Vesteris gets into the northern zone. At least he had that wherewithal. We did pick up the New Mexico that was guarding it. Now there's just the Tedekov and the Fuso. And we're up, I believe, 2 ships. And I'm going to be spotted, so as soon as I am, I let that go. And he shoots at me. But he's not a real accurate shot. And I am going pretty fast. I got a fire on him. We lose the Podvoisky, who steams straight into the zone. And that's got to be a second round of torpedoes. That looks like, what is that, 8?
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Shorter range, too, so that had to be, there's a Nicholas left in there and a Fubuki. We're up 1 ship, but look at the zone. So I'm spotted by the destroyers in the zone, but they're only about, I think, 30 seconds from taking it. So the Tedehov's not looking at me, and I realize that. And there's my first target, the Nicholas. So I figure he let his torps go. So I'm not real concerned, but after I let that second volley go, I changed direction due to the threat of torps. When you're fighting DDs, you change direction, and there they are. I think I saw him off to the left.
Torpedoes to
Yeah,
port.
there's his wreck. So he reloaded. But that's why you change direction. You don't see them.
Torpedoes to
And then
port.
there's another group. That's got to be from the other.
Torpedoes to
And
port.
that's 6. And then 3 that way. That's
Torpedoes,
9.
dead
That's
ahead.
the Fubuki.
Torpedoes
He
to
shot
port.
at me when I corrected on my initial
Torpedoes, direct
course.
front.
And then he saw me change, and he set, I think, that seems to be a lot. I thought a Fubuki only had 9. I could be wrong about that. Seemed to be a lot of torps. But look at our capture. We've almost got their base captured. That Vesteris got in there. And there's the Fubuki. And my HE on this ship against destroyers is pitiful. And I actually kill him just as the upper zone is taken. But no clue that the base was going to be taken. No clue about a destroyer's role in spotting. And the poor player, the new player, gravitates to destroyers because they're not easily seen. And I believe they start with battleships. They fire, never making any consideration of concealment, of going dark at a tight spot, of limiting exposure to crossfire. These guys just don't know how to play. And when you're coming in without a squad or without a clan like I do, it's very difficult to deal with these muttonheads. And there's more and more of them in World of Warships. Muttonhead upon muttonhead. It's a fun game, but the muttonheads make it crazy.